stop. Don't move to Moline until you watch this full video. So you've made that decision and you're moving to Moline. Is it the right decision? Well, let's discuss the benefits and some maybe the downfalls on moving to Moline. Now, first off, if you don't have a job, well, chances are is that you're going to be able to find one fairly quickly. We have one of the biggest employers in the world, let alone right here in Moline, and that is John Deere. Their headquarters is located right here in Moline, so it is a big deal for the Quad Cities, but also just because it's in Moline, it's a big deal for Moline. A lot of people that live in Moline work at John Deere. Not saying that everybody does, that's impossible, but a good amount of people do. Thing you got to watch out for if you're going to be working for John Deere is the layoffs. Agricultural in general is very cyclical, and because they're in the agricultural business, it can also be cyclical on the demand of their tractors and the combines. So when they have a shortfall, sometimes we see major layoffs happen. But if you're aware of that going in, it's a great company to work for. A lot of people love working for that company. So it's a great option if you're moving here to Moline. Like I said, they're also just a great company to have right here in the Quad Cities. Now, if you're moving to Moline, you're probably curious of where you need to live. Well, that's why people give me a call. I am a licensed realtor here in Quad Cities and in Moline. So if you have questions about where to live, where the best place to live, give me a call. My number is popping up down below, and I am the one to answer those calls and questions. So send me what you like. But another surprising fact about Moline that a lot of people don't discuss is actually the cost of living. The reason it's not discussed a lot is because of taxes in the state of Illinois in the county of Rock Island. Yes, the taxes are very high in Illinois. They're, I think, ranked number 49 in 51 states because they count Washington, D.C. in that count. So they are fairly substantial as far as property taxes go, but that doesn't mean everything is super expensive if you're living in Moline. No, we're below the national average as far as grocery costs, utility costs. They have a nuclear power plant just north of town, so that keeps the electricity at a lower cost as well. So there is a lot of benefits as far as the cost of living goes in Moline. And along the same lines of property taxes, because the property taxes are a bit higher in Illinois and Rock Island County, typically you're going to get a little bit more house for the dollar that you spend in Moline, just because a lot of people are trying to leave to get out of the tax brackets. But that's a benefit for you if you're moving to the town, because you can get more house in Moline versus, say, on the Iowa side and Bettendorf. One complaint I hear about from people that have moved to Moline or the Quad Cities is that it's really not a destination as far as vacations go. And it's kind of true. We do have a few things like the John Deere Pavilion. We have the Mississippi River, which people like to get out on, but it's really missing out on, say, the mountains or the beaches that a lot of people really love. But luckily for you, if you're moving to Moline, we have the Quad Cities International Airport right there in Moline. So depending on where you move, you're probably a 5-minute drive away from the international airport that can take you pretty much anywhere. Thing with that airport though is it is on the smaller side, so if you're going to go somewhere, most likely you're going to be having a connection flight somewhere. There's some direct flights, but it's kind of few and far between. But regardless, you have access to that awesome asset over there in Moline, so it's a great benefit, especially if you're somebody that likes to travel, or if you just travel for work a lot. It's also a huge benefit because, like I said, 5-minute drive. The cost for actually parking there is very cheap compared to, say, Chicago O'Hare. So it's a great benefit to have in the city of Moline, and a lot of people really love it. Now, the thing about Moline is it's kind of a hub of entertainment for the entire Quad Cities. The main reason being is the Vibrant Arena down on the river, which just actually recently changed their name from Tax Slayer Center to the Vibrant Arena, or the Mark, and it holds a ton of different events down there. So for example, they had a monster truck rally just recently. They have some stand-ins, so they have the Steam Wheelers, which is an indoor football arena football, whatever you want to call it. They have the Quad City Storm, which is a hockey team. So they have you covered all year round. All the major names for music come and play concerts there. So it really is a hub of entertainment for not just local stuff, but also nationwide stuff coming to the Quad Cities, and Moline has that. But on top of it, they have their downtown, which has amazing restaurants down there, great shopping areas, and the John Deere Pavilion, which I've talked about in the past. So great thing if you're one that wants to get out and actually entertain yourself. It's a great option, and Moline has that as well. So what is the weather like if you're moving to Moline? Well, it's in the Midwest. Obviously, you're gonna have the 4 seasons. We have super hot summers, and we have super cold winters, and everything in between. A lot of people like to move away because of the winters. I personally like the winters more than I like the summers. That's just because I'm hot-blooded and I can't stand the heat. My fiance, on the other hand, is completely opposite of that. She loves the heat. She grew up in the Philippines, and moving here with the actual winter, it's tough on her. So depending on what you like, Moline might be a great option for you because it has the whole gambit of things. Like I said, the 4 seasons, so it's not always hot, it's not always cold, but you do have those extremes, and some people love it, some people hate it, so you got to make that decision for yourself. Now, I get these kinds of questions all the time when people are moving to Moline. So if you have another specific question that I did not cover here, like I said, my number is popping up down below. So shoot me a text, send me an email. I love answering those types of questions. But if you want to know more about Moline and you just want to watch another video, well, check out this video right here because I do cover that, and I think it's a great one.